Hi and welcome to today's Train With Me video. So I thought that I would talk a little bit about how I stay motivated to train my horses, because in my last Train With Me I maxed my 375th horse, so obviously I have maxed quite a few horses in my star stable days. And meanwhile I am going to train Astrid here, which I bought yesterday on the bazaar. Um, yeah, yesterday from when I'm recording this. It will probably be um, like a few days, maybe weeks after I post this, because I am trying to get some videos recorded so that I can stay consistent in December, because I will be a bit more busy then. But I wanted to talk about how I stay motivated to train my horses today. And I have written a list with 10 things, but I am going to give a little extra tip or like insight in how I'm thinking with motivating myself. So let's get started, shall we? So the first thing is obviously I want all my horses maxed. That is the first thing that is motivating me, because I love having all my horses maxed. I would feel quite stressed, I think, if I had like too many horses in level 1, and it would probably demote okay. It would probably demotivate me to train if I had too many horses to train, so I try to keep it so that I train my horses more. Um, but that feels like an obvious answer, because I guess that if you want motivation to train, you want your horses to be maxed. Um, but number 2 is actually quite helpful, I think, and that is that I have a daily routine that's quick and is XP dense. And what I mean by that is, like I'm doing the normal tracks now, but my dense and quick XP run is usually doing the animals at the ranch and then doing the Valedale stuff, because that's very quick and you get a lot of XP very quickly. So even though maybe I don't have so much time for playing that day, I will still get some XP into a horse. Um, and even if I don't really feel like training, maybe I want to make outfits, I want to do that, I want to do this, it usually prompts me to do other races too, which is great. Um, and number 3 is that I have a training route too. And I think I have showed this in my like daily routine I filmed in October. But I usually do the Baroness racetrack, and then I do the jumping course and dressage at the manor. And I usually do the riding hall stuff too, and then I do Marley, Steve's, Moorland, Fort Pinta. Because in my opinion, those races are quite fun and they give a lot of XP, and they are also it's also quite fast to do them. But it takes of course longer than only doing the ranch and Valedale. So number 4 on my list on how I stay motivated to train is that I try to train my horses in the order I bought them. And that is because it like motivates me, because I want to train the newest horses I have bought. Where, for example, when it comes to new breed or stuff like that. Obviously now I am buying like my second newest horse. And I definitely have some other horses to train, but I adore this horse, so I cannot just not ride this horse right now. I love her so much. But that is a thing I try to do. And it also removes the like decision aspect of training. Because for me it can take quite a while to like choose which horse I want to ride, like what breed do I feel like today, what outfits, etc. But if I know that like oh yeah, Astrid is the horse I bought like the longest time ago and it's not maxed, then I should just do her because it's in like a timely order. But of course, this isn't probably going to motivate everyone, and same as for all these things, of course. But this is how I keep myself motivated. Okay, let's see if I can look at my little list without crashing in this race. Okay, number 5 is training gives you shillings. And we all love shillings, right? At least me, I am trying to never ever buy any tack with star coins or clothes. Nothing. I am the type to earn my shillings if I want to buy anything. And training obviously gives you shillings. It might not seem like much because it's like 20 a race. But it adds up, definitely. And especially if you are in Valedale and collecting light, that adds up very, very quickly. Which means that I can... Like now I have 5,000. That means that I can soon buy one of the items on my wish list. Oops. Well, I guess that's another tip too, to have like a tack and clothing starstable wish list, because then it will motivate you to train too. Because you want to earn enough shillings to be able to buy those stuff. Okay, number 6 is that I rarely do races I don't enjoy. Like all the races on this route that I showed you, I really enjoy, and that's why they are my route, because I find them like enjoyable, and I feel like they give good amount of XP for the amount of work, so to speak. Because I don't think I could like log on, train my horses, and every day have to do races I don't like, even if I would like hate all the races that gives 250 XP, I would probably not do them then, because that's not just worth it to me, because playing Star Stable or like any game should be fun, right? Like it shouldn't be work, or you know, it shouldn't be work to train horses in Star Stable. But I know that for some people they don't really like training. And that's okay too, of course. Okay, so number 7 is that I usually watch something when I'm training. Either a YouTube video, maybe some of you are training and watching this video right now. That's great. But I usually do that because then I can zone out a little bit and watch my show or favorite YouTuber. I know some people listen to maybe a podcast or music, but I have to have something visually to keep me motivated, because even if I like the races, they are repetitive, of course. And especially if you want to do this every day or have like a lot of horses to train. And now we can get Astrid to level 7. So she get her pretty moves. Should we look at them? I think so. Oop. Wow. Good job, Astrid. So fancy. Let's see. Yeah, but I usually watch something, and that also keeps my brain like entertained, because someone else is talking to me about something. Or a movie could also be great. And a video or a movie is also good, because that sets like a timer for you, if you know what I mean. So if I'm watching like a 35-minute YouTube video, that would probably mean that I train for 35 minutes. So I like doing that. And number 8 is maybe a little bit unusual, I don't know. But when I wrote this list, I realized that I usually do this and I haven't really thought about it much. But you know the championships, right? Here it says that Silverglade Village Championship will start in 10 minutes. I will use that as motivation to train and get through courses. Like, for example, if it says that it's the Jorvik Stable Championship soon, or maybe I will look so I have a half an hour at least. Then I would try to start at Greendale and work my way through Harvest counties. Like here, Paddock Island and the Jorvik Stable ones. And then do the championship, because that gives me a deadline of sorts. Which also keeps me motivated and on track, because if I zone out and start doing something else, I will probably miss the championship, and those gives quite a lot of XP and 200 shillings if you don't get a medal, of course. But you know, if a normal race would give you 200 shillings, I bet that you would try to do that every day. So with the championships giving you 200 shillings for each championship, that is great. And you can keep that as motivation to not miss your 200 shillings and 250 XP. And it makes it more like a challenge almost. So it doesn't just feel like normal training. Let's see if I can read the next one without failing my dressage. That would be so annoying, actually. No, I have to finish this first. Especially with the canter coming up. Okay, now I can read it. Number 9 is that I make new outfits for the horses I'm going to train. Like this outfit I used yesterday, and I took a picture of Astrid. But if let's say I would have trained Astrid for a few days in a row, I would probably be a little bit tired of looking at this blue, lilac, whatever you want to call this color. So to spice things up a little bit, I like to do new training outfits. And I guess a lot of people do that. I don't think this is a revolutionary new tip to make you motivated. But it's also a great way to use the stuff you have saved your shillings for when training. So it's like, oh, if I do these races, I get to buy this new saddle pad, and then I can use that new saddle, etc. You know what I mean. So that's a way to get motivated too, in my opinion, because a new fresh outfit always feels nice, in my opinion. And it can, maybe you have some horses that you don't really want to train. I feel that way a little bit about my generation 1 and 2 horses. Because I adore them, of course, but they are crusty. So I have bought quite a few when they were retiring, and I had quite a few before that too. But it's not as enjoyable riding them when you know that we have like these horses available, and you know that they are in the stable waiting for you to be maxed instead of the crusties. But I have actually used that as motivation too. I guess this is an extra tip as well. But well, yeah, I have maxed a lot of horses, so I do have some tips and tricks on how to stay motivated. So I could probably talk about this in another video too. Not gonna lie. Where were we? Yeah, making a new outfit. So I would try to just try out new colors, and maybe if you feel like a Generation 1 or 2 horse is boring, or even a Generation 3 horse, of course you can buy a horse and regret it. But maybe try to use a different color that you wouldn't really think of, and that might make you like the horse more. Or you just find a new outfit that you really love and can use on another horse you love. Okay, so my 10th tip for staying motivated on training horses in Star Stable is to try to challenge yourself and do all the races in a day. Of course, this takes a while to do in game, and sometimes when I try to do that, I finish like 75% and then I'm like, no, I'm done. So I mean, don't push yourself if you really feel like this is so boring. But I have tried to done this with all the Edition 2 horses I have left, because since buying all the Shires and Icelandics before they were gone, I had an extreme amount, for me, of horses to train, and I got a little bit stressed, so I tried to like go through them as fast as possible. So I would try to do that sometimes, and it was actually quite fun, because then you got like motivated, and I would try to clear like one area. So this was like one area of the map, then this area, Dino Valley, then I would try to clear this area and this. And also dividing it up like that also motivated me, because then I was like, oh, but I am done with that whole part of Jorvik. I only have these two parts left, you know. So that's an actual thing I have done to keep myself motivated, and it also gives a lot of shillings. So not only XP, shillings, which you can of course buy clothes and tack for. So that was all of the 10 tips I had, but as I said, I had one extra, and I have snuck in some extras here and there too. I realized that I had a few more things to talk about than I originally thought of, that like popped into my head while I was talking about this now. But the legitimate thing I wrote on my little list here is a thing I don't really do anymore. But a few years ago I didn't let myself buy a new horse until the current one I was training was maxed. And this is also a way to save star coins, because you aren't as likely to impulse buy a horse. Because if you have a horse in your stable that's level 7, you cannot buy another horse. Or if it's like level 13. But if it was like level 14 and a half, I could let myself buy a new horse. But that always kept me motivating, and especially when I knew a new breed was coming out, it made me want to max the horse I already had going on before the Wednesday update. But in my opinion, this has gotten harder and harder throughout the years, and maybe it's just my own discipline. But with all the Generation 1 and 2 horses being retired, and them having deadlines on when you have to buy them or they would disappear, I haven't really followed this in quite a few years. Which is probably why I have been a little bit stressed that I have so many horses, but I don't think I should feel like that, because it's just a game. I could have 100 untrained horses and nothing would happen. But as I said, I like to have my horses trained. But on the other hand, at that time it took a lot longer to max a horse. Like the time I'm talking about, like it would take you a week and that was doing all the races every single day. And I know that before, like a very, very long time ago, like 10 plus years, maybe 12 years, I think it took like 21 days of doing all races every single day to max a horse. So that we now are able to max a horse in one day if we are determined enough. That's incredible. And even if you aren't like crunching for the XP and doing all races, it doesn't take many days to train a horse either. Like if you do the ranch and the Valedale stuff, I am pretty sure it takes like a week only doing that, and that doesn't take nearly as much time every day. And especially with our special moments we have, and also when you do Valedale, you of course run into extra light and the wisps and stuff. So it all adds up pretty quickly nowadays. And that is also why I am not as stressed about training all my horses before buying a new one, because I know that it will be pretty quick, and especially with the events we get nowadays, like Halloween, there were a lot of extra XP every single day. And of course now we have Winter Village coming up, or if that has been added already when I decide to release this video. But those events usually give you quite a lot of new races with a lot of XP. So I am not as worried about that. I think that was like my best tips on how to stay motivated to train your horses. This is what has helped me at least to train my horses. And when I had the Generation 2 and 1 horses to train, I usually tried to just rush through them because, as I said, I love them. But they are crusty, and it was so long ago that I only trained like Generation 3 horses. So this feels like a real treat, not gonna lie. But that was because I just wanted to be done with them and put them in the pasture. Because I love them, but you know, we have more beautiful horses now. Even though the older ones are very, very, very nostalgic. And I only have one Generation 2 horse left. Like ever to train on this account. And it's an Icelandic horse, and I will probably be doing a train with me for that horse too, because that's quite special. And I know quite a few people that are like saving Generation 2 horses to like train in the future, or yeah, you know. But I don't think I will be able to do that. I can't just leave a horse in level 1 forever. But with that said, I have to change my playstyle a little bit from what I have been doing these last like few years, couple of months. Especially these last couple of months with the Shires and Icelandics. Because, like Astrid here, I absolutely love this horse, so I don't really want to rush her up in levels. Because even though you can use horses after they are maxed, I feel like I am much more prompted to get an untrained horse out of the stable to do some training when I log on. So I will have to change my playstyle a little bit from now on. So I can't just be running around doing all races. Like, I will probably not do a doing all races on the map challenge. Also because these horses are quite expensive in star coins, you know, like 900 star coins, and I don't want to just be done with 900 star coins in a single day. That would hurt my starstable heart a little bit, not gonna lie. But that was everything I had to say today. That was everything I had to share about how to stay motivated to train your horses. And I hope that maybe some of these tips could help some of you to train your horses. And also, if you don't want to max your horses, then don't. I know a lot of people that don't really care for it, but I know a lot of people do, but maybe they find it boring or a little hard to just do. So I hope this helps. And if you liked the video, you could press the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I also have an Instagram. I'm called Star Watcher Sables there as well, and I usually just post nice photos of my horses with a nice outfit I put together. Um, so follow me there too if you are interested in that. And I hope I will see you in my next video too. Bye!